Hey folks, this is Jeff from By the Bay RV. Wanted to go over some quick tips and best practices when it comes to RV tank management. If you stick around to the end of the video, we're going to show you a way to avoid a very costly mistake that a lot of people are unaware of. What they're doing could lead to some catastrophic damage to not only their black tank, but also their entire RV. First things first, basically what you want to do is you want to wait till your black tank is at least 2/3 of the way full before you plan on emptying it. This way you know you've got a lot of volume of water in the tank to help move all of the solids out when you open up your valve. There also seems to be a lot of confusion on whether you should keep your valves to your tanks open or you should keep your valves to your tanks closed. You see a lot of different stuff online. Both your black and your gray tanks should always be closed unless you're dumping your tanks. And there's a handful of reasons. Number one is if you leave your valves open, your liquids, your waters, are immediately going to flow out of your tank and have the tendency to leave solids behind. Also, you don't want to leave your valves open to your tanks. You are leaving your tanks open to whatever is in the sewer, and that's insects and bugs, but also sewer gases. So if you leave those valves open, any insects, sewer flies that are in the sewer are going to make their way up and make a home and a nest in your tanks, which you don't want. Keeping those valves closed will help minimize any of the sewer gases from coming up into your tanks and potentially seeping into your RV as well. Some accessories that we like to use to help manage and keep our tanks clean is a device called the Flush King. There's a couple different versions of this on the market that you can get, but basically it gives you a clear elbow here so you can see what's coming out of your tank when you're dumping, and it also gives you the ability to hook up a garden hose so that you can backfill your tank, and it's always a good idea at the same time, if you're going to do that, to have some kind of meter on the hose as well so you can see how many gallons that you're putting into your tank. So if you have, for example, a 30-gallon tank, you want to be careful not to overfill it. The Flush King and the flow meter here are pretty common. You can find them online. You can find them in Wally World. We'll go ahead and put some links in the description below. So if you want to go take a look at them, if you don't already have these accessories. Anytime you're hooking up to your black tank flush or to the Flush King, you want to use a garden hose and not a drinking water hose. You don't want to hook up your drinking water hose to either of these. Even though there is a check valve inside your tank flush, and usually there's a backflow preventer here on the Flush King as well, you don't want to take the chance of hooking up your drinking water to these systems. Okay, as promised, the number one thing to avoid when working with your black tank that we see quite often with customers is leaving a hose hooked up to their black tank flush. This is an absolute recipe for disaster, and we highly recommend that you do not do this. We've seen countless customers that have a hose hooked up permanently to their black tank flush like this, and you're just asking for something very bad to happen. For example, our very neighbor had this hooked up, and someone else in the park on the other side who was renting an Airbnb walked over and was trying to hook up their water and mistakenly turned on the water to the hose that our neighbor had hooked up to their black tank flush. And before they realized there was a problem, they had water flowing out of their toilet and sewer water flowing off the top of their fifth wheel. It can be very expensive if you don't catch that, and it can do an extensive amount of damage as well, as you can imagine, to your RV. So that's it for this video, folks. Hope some of that helps. Of course, if you have any questions, you can always give us a call at By the Bay RV, and we'll be happy to answer your questions for you. If you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, please remember to like, subscribe, and share this with your friends, anybody you think that would benefit from this information, and we'll see you on the next one.